Good morning, you guys. So today's Thursday. I'm about to be heading off to my grandmother's in a couple of hours. And I was packing, and it hit me last night, and it's really been working on me today, that I need to be reading Romans 12 verses 9 through 21. And it's about to behave like a Christian. In Wednesday night Bible study, usually we read and study like out of the Bible, and then sometimes we'll get like books like this one, which is Instruments in the Redeemer's Hand, and it talks about like being a disciple, and you know how to like biblically go about situations when you don't really know how to go about them, and how to fully trust God in your walk with Him, and just like how to be a better disciple and Christian, all the while tying into the Bible and bringing the words to life out of the Bible so you better understand it, if that makes sense. So that's what this is. Not sponsored, but it's called Instruments in the Redeemer's Hand, People in Need of Change. Helping People in Need of Change, by Paul David Tripp. And like I said, we were reading out of here. We're almost through the book. Anyways, so one of the things that we read tying into one of the situations that was going on in the Bible, in the book, was about, it was recapping from chapter 10, which we missed. Me and Daniel missed because like everything was going on and haywire and crazy. So we didn't really get that part, but basically it was recapping that, and it was asking like these questions, like, well, they say that they're Christians, but are they biblically going about their marriage in a biblical way? How can they biblically, how would God want you to interact with your spouse and others and things like that? So because it was like a really nasty, just bitter divorce, or marriage on the brinks of a divorce. So this is what I'm getting at. So there is scriptures all throughout the Bible about how to behave like a Christian and things like that, but this particular spot, Romans 12 9 through 21, specifically speaks and is labeled behave like a Christian. It says, verse 9, let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor what is evil, cling to what is good. Be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love and honor, giving preferences to one another. Not lagging in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulations, continuingly steadfastly in prayer. Distributing to the needs of the saints, given to hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice, and weep with those who weep. Be of the same mind towards one another. Do not set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble. Do not be wise in your own opinion. Repay no one evil for evil. Have regard for good things in the sight of all men. If it is possible, as much as it depends on you, live peacefully with all men. Beloved, do not avenge yourself, but rather give place to wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Therefore, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him a drink. For in so doing, you will heap coals of fire on his head. Do not overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. So I want to break this down into some, I want to break this down like bit by bit. A lot of these make sense, but some of these can be taken out of context. So verse 9, it says, let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor what is evil, cling to what is good. So it doesn't mean like, I'm trying to find the best way to explain it. Okay. So I'll come back to that part. But love without hypocrisy, meaning love somebody, but then don't be bitter. Don't love this person to their face and hate them behind their back and talk bad about them. You know, how we call two-faced. Don't do that. And it says, abhor what is evil, cling to what is good. Meaning, don't dwell on the bad and the things that went wrong, but cling to what is good in that person. It's not saying, you know, to continually deal with a narcissist and put up with their bad behaviors and let people walk all over you. No, that's not what it means. But cling to what is good. So in your personal mind, in your own brain that God has given you, don't dwell on the things that are evil and things that are bad that's going on, you know, that you know. Don't dwell on those. Dwell on the things that are good. Like a child. Your child will sit there and do things and act a fool and be like, they could be hateful and tantrums and everything, but you don't dwell on the bad things. You focus on the good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't wake up the next day going, man, my kid did this yesterday, so I'm going to dwell on that thought. And no, you love your child unconditionally. It means clinging on to what is good, under the fact that you have your children. You have this person that you can love and nurture and grow and bond with and teach them the right things, and to have somebody in your life so you're not lonely, your children, your spouse. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love, in honor, giving preference to one another. Meaning, like it says, be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love. How would you treat your brother when you love your brother, when you love your sister, when you love somebody that is not your husband or your wife? How do you go about loving them? Well, you're kind to them. You are generous. You are helpful. You are, I'm like, lack of better words. But anyways, you know, joyful, gracious, at peace, laughing and laughing with them. And listen, be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love, in honor, giving the preference to one another, meaning that you prefer to be around each other. You love each other. You don't go out of your way to avoid that person. You are trying to do what you can to be around that person, to bring light to them, to, if you're I'm gonna say brother because it was, we're in the Bible, but if you have somebody that you genuinely care about and they are depressed and going, having these suicidal thoughts, or you have a friend that is, their child goes missing or something like traumatic, you don't ignore it. Like, you are there to soothe them, to comfort them, to help them, to guide them, to laugh with them, to, like, you prefer to be in the situations that they're going through, because that's what a true friend does, and that's what a true sibling does. But we have to be like that to everybody. Not saying run yourself completely thin to where, like, you have no you time to be with the presence of the Lord or nothing like that, but be with them. Okay. And then it goes on. Not lagging in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. So, I can't remember exactly what the word diligent means right at the top of my head, but fervent in spirit, meaning don't ever let your spirit go out, especially like the Holy Spirit. Always use it as an opportunity to talk about Jesus and God, and always bring them back to what God is wanting you to do, and how Jesus is there, and what, like that WWJD, what would Jesus do? And just serving the Lord. You are serving the Lord when you are consoling his people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how as a parent, when you are a parent and your one child is upset or something's going on and you go to step in, but the other sibling, your other child goes and comforts that child and is helping that child, being there for that child. Man, I don't know if I'm getting sick or what. And then it just like it makes you happy because they're serving you, but you know, and I'm trying to explain it the best way I can for you guys. But in reality, serving the Lord, you're serving the Lord when you do the things that He calls you to do, and to love everybody kindly, and in honor and preference, and run each other, not lagging and diligent, fervent in spirit, and serving the Lord. And then it says, rejoicing in hope. So always have hope and always rejoicing about it. Patient in tribulations, meaning not giving up, but giving it to God and just being patient to ride out that storm. You know it's going to be over. You know it's just a trial and tribulation. It says patient in tribulations, continuingly, steadfastly in prayer. So always praying, always like at the drop of a hat. Like, I'm not saying slam on your brakes and have a car accident, but God does give us the ability to multitask, and we're able to focus on driving, focus on cooking, focus on washing the dishes, but we are always praying. And when somebody calls you or stops by or like at the store or whatever, and they're like, hey, I need you to pray for something, stop and pray. Right there. Stop and pray. Distributing to the need. Okay, well, before I get to this, but taking the time to daily, sometimes multiple times a day, but daily going to that quiet place and praying for Him, fasting, when God calls you to fast, and to do these, to just constantly having a prayer life and making it your top priority. You need to have a prayer life, like I say, a prayer life and relationship, conversation, communication with God and prayer. It goes hand in hand together at like the top priority of your list, in like relationships, and then it's your spouse, and then it's your kids, and so on and so on. Okay, so then distributing to the needs of the saints, given to hospitality. The way that I take that, and this could be different from everybody else, but when you see somebody in need, help them. When you are seeing somebody that looks sad, or like you could just tell something's going on, stop and talk to them. Stop and be kind. Stop and just give them like 5-10 minutes, or give them your phone number so that they can call you, or whatever the case may be. So if you see something that somebody needs, give it to them. We live in a world today where it's all about me, myself, and I, and my pride, and this, and always on the go, 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 go. That is the government. And our government is corrupt. Our government is, you always have to be working. You always have to be doing this. You always have to be doing that. These people are bad. These people are racist. In reality, like, there's people out there that's racist, but nobody's like genuinely racist. It's literally the government shoving it down people's throat to make people think that other people are racist, to make them racist. Does that make sense? Like, if you get rid of the government and everybody like starts to talk to each other and get along with each other, and go back to the way that we need to communicate with one another and be there for one another, I think that a lot of people would see that we're not racist, but we're genuine for people. So that's just what I see. So always take the opportunity to think about how you can serve your community, how you can serve somebody else. If you have a bunch of clothes, and there's times where we don't see the big picture, but we know that we can do our part. So for example, there's a box over by the high school that you could put donation clothes into, and it's those get distributed all around the United States to different places that need it, like Red Cross, hospitals, um, women and abused children, um, foster care, like literally different things. So I can take my kids' clothes and my clothes and Daniel's clothes that we no longer need, outgrew, neighbors, gave to my grandmother, church, whatever. I can take those clothes and take them to that bin. And even though I don't see the bigger picture, I know that the people that donated it, the people that, like ourselves, the people that donated it, know where it's going, but we don't know exactly where it's going. So we leave it in God's hands and we let it go to where it needs. Pray over that thing. Pray over, the things that you get, you donate. Just like different things. So let's see. Distributing to the needs of the saints, given to hospitality. Okay. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. So when somebody is like being bitter and angry and hateful, and this is how I take it. And so okay, example, right now I am going through a situation of, and this has been since April. My kids were illegally taken, wrongfully taken, bunch of lies. Like they were corrupt. It was a corrupt teacher, corrupt school, and corrupt CPS workers. The police were not happy about it. The judge is not happy about it. Attorneys are not happy about it. The new social workers not happy about it. The social workers that took my kids are fired. The people that were my kids' foster parents are no longer foster parents because of some illegal things that was going on in their house. And it's a hot mess. And here in less than a month, the kids will be coming back home, if not sooner. So anyways, it says like this. It says, bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. So in this situation, it took everything in me. I'm not going to lie. It took everything in me to not say bitter things about them. I did say bitter things about them and I had to repent, but I was praying, me and Daniel and everybody in the situation was, praying that the social workers that took the kids got removed off the case. That was a blessing in disguise. But it was a blessing from God. And honestly, because I didn't know that some people were praying that. But we were praying for their redemption, praying for the situation, knowing that it's in God's hands, praying for their hearts, praying that there's a movement in their spirit, praying for them as if they were someone that we truly 100% cared about, without cursing their name, without saying, oh, I wish this would happen to them, or oh, if only this would happen, I wish this would happen. We didn't do that. Okay, so rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. That's basically self-explanatory. Be the same mind towards one another. Do not set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble. Do not be wise in your own opinion. So in this one, I'm going to say how it's how God's been speaking to me on this one lately. See, it says, be of the same mind towards one another, meaning you can't sit there and love this person and hate this person and give to this person and not this person, or because in our human nature we want to separate everybody. In reality, we have to love one another and we have to have the same mindset towards one another. Like, we love this person, we want what's best for them, we have to love this person and try to help, want what's best for them. And same thing. Okay? So we have to have the same mindset towards one another. And they have to be, and I'm not saying like, you could pray, like, if there's somebody that's genuinely just doesn't care or does things to be like bitter in your life, you do not have to be in their presence as if it was somebody else. However, your mindset, you have to pray for that person just as you would the person that you care about. You have to pray for the person that is belittling you. You have to be kind to them. And that goes on in verse 22, how it talks about that. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to be kind and love and things, but you do not have to be in their presence all the time. So there's people that take advantage of you. You can distance yourself and still pray for them. You can distance yourself and not let them walk all over you, but you can still, like I said, pray for them. If like their car breaks down or something, you can help them. You can minister to them. Don't be the bitter person. Don't be the bigger person, not the bitter person. Okay. And then in this also in verse 16, it says, do not set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble. So you always constantly have to be humble. And like I said, there's so many different ways that you can be humble. But basically, in the short version of it, don't be sitting there thinking about like, how can I get this money, and like making yourself think that you're above everybody else. No, always be humble. Nobody wants to be around somebody that's just constantly, I'm better than you, I act better than you, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, taking advantage of everybody else. Be humble. Everybody needs to be humble. Okay. Do not be wise in your own opinion. So meaning, like, we all have our own opinions, but in the grand scheme of it all, our opinions don't matter. And that's the society that we live in, that our opinions mean that we can voice them and everything else. But in reality, it says, do not be wise in your own opinion, because not all the time is your opinion the best thing. There's a difference between opinion and facts. And facts is, we need God and we need Jesus. Facts is, we need to get back to the root of what our founding fathers have. Watch that video of Kirk Cameron going over what the founding fathers monument actually means, and how how they actually set it up on that statue. And we need to get back to that. That's a fact. A fact is, we cannot be mutilating children. Fact is, we need to love one another. Fact is, if you're going to be a Christian, you need to be Christ-like. Fact is, everybody in some way has broken the 10 Commandments. And fact is, we need to repent and believe that Jesus died on the cross for us and rose from the tomb to save us from our sins. Fact is that it is a free salvation. Fact is, if we go and continue to live for God and prayer, and we can, always repenting when things are wrong and being there for one another. Fact is, and this counts too, you're good. Just because you do good deeds does not mean that you're a good person. You're going to get to heaven. So fact is, we need to rely on what I just said and know that there is everlasting life. And if you don't believe in God and you don't have that relationship with him, he don't know you, and you're going to hell. Basically, because that was your choice. Fact is, a lot of people say that this Bible is not real, God's not real, Jesus is real, but it's been proven over and over again in science that the Bible is real, that God is real, that Jesus is real. Everything in this Bible is real. A lot of people sit there and say that, well, science is this and not this. Do you guys not realize that science is just playing the catch up of what God created? Seriously. Okay? Okay. So, it says, repay no one evil for evil. Have your regards for good things in the sight of all men. You know that saying that 2 wrongs don't make a right? Yeah, basically that. When somebody does something evil, do not repay it for evil. So if somebody slashes your tires, don't go out slashing their tires. If your old man cheated on you, don't go out cheating on him. If your sister hit you, don't go out hitting her back. If somebody busted the windows out of your car, don't go and bust the windows out of your car, okay? It says, have regards for good things in the sight of all men. So meaning, don't do evil to them, do good, especially when they do wrong to you. If it is possible, as much... I keep getting a phone call. If it is possible, as much as you depend on you, live peacefully with all men. So, if it is possible, and it says, if it is possible, as much as it depends on you, keep the peace. Keep the peace. You are the only one that can keep the peace in yourself and in the situation around you. And 2, we need to all have that same mindset. If I can keep the peace, and you can keep the peace, and you can keep the peace, and we teach the kids how to keep the peace, everybody can keep the peace, and there's no bitterness. But if you don't keep the peace within yourself and try to keep the peace around you, it's just going to go haywire and crazy. But we all need to have that likeness. Because it depends on us to keep the peace. Okay. Beloved, do not avenge yourself, but rather give place to wrath. For it is vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. So, if you get mad and angry and somebody does something to you, don't get mad about it. Don't try to get even with them. The Lord even says, vengeance is mine and I will repay. So, walk away. Get away from the situation. Move away. The Lord God will handle it. The Lord God will handle it. And ultimately, when Judgment Day comes, you're not giving an account for that person. You're giving an account for yourself and your thoughts and your actions and everything. So let the Lord deal with them. Now, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him a drink. For in so doing, you will heap coals of fire on his head. Do not overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Do you know how that they say, you attract, well, I don't know if anybody else has said this, but Daniel's mother, my mother-in-law, says you attract more flies with honey. And it goes back to 17 too. Do good even when somebody is being angry. When, you know how like you just keep being nice to somebody and they're mad and angry and it's like driving them insane because they're not bringing you to their level. Like you're not giving in to their level. They're hungry, feed them. They're thirsty, give them a drink. If, like, you know how like when your kids get mad and angry and they try to like make you break and like snap and lose your cool, but you're still like, hey, what would you like to drink? What would you like to eat? Yeah, no, I'm not giving in to you. No, I'm going to be the bigger person. And, your kid's throwing a temper tantrum in the floor. What do? Just grab their hand? I mean, you tell them what they're doing is wrong in that sense, but, because, they're a child and they're learning, but, you don't let it get to you, because when you let it get to you, that's when you start sinning. But eventually, over time, you will sit there and you will see a change. And sometimes it's a change for the good. Sometimes it's a change for, like, them to, like, leave, in the sense. But continue to pray for them. If you see them out in the store, be nice to them. But, okay, so for doing so, you will heap coals of fire on your head. Or on their head. So when you are continuously nice and doing things for people, even though they are just so spiteful and everything, and my grandmother says this saying, sometimes you have to swallow when you want to spit. And it's true. It will drive them crazy, and it's just like, why are you being so nice? Why are you? And then like it's slowly like God starts to work on them. And then they will sit there and stir and like fester and you know, and then they're like, why are you being so nice? And I'm just like, because the good Lord called me to be nice. And then you continue to minister and to be God's child, continue to, you know, you don't have to, you can preach to them, you know, I encourage you to do so, but it doesn't have to be all the time. Lead by example, you know, your actions speak louder than words kind of thing. Do that, and you will slowly change people's lives. And it says behave like a Christian. So I know this is like a 30-minute video clip, and I apologize for going so long. I had to keep stopping a phone call from coming in because people are blowing up my phone. Okay, so anyways, I will see you guys next time. I love you guys. Later. Bye.